Hi guys, your favorite T1D right here, Tini. We are going to do an interview today with two great ladies, that is Sylvia and Pollete. So keep it locked. If you have any questions, write to us, DM us, and if you want to be part of these interviews, just DM us and we will get back to you. Cheers.
Hi guys, I am Pollete Mnaji. I am 24 years old from Kitengela, diagnosed with diabetes, type 1 diabetes. For 4 years now. My 4 years is now October. I was diagnosed in 2016 October, just from a random full body checkup, and they had to do like 4 tests on me for them to know that I am clearly diabetic, and it was a hard one to take it in. I'm a student currently. I'm doing my bachelor's in sociology. I'm in 3rd year. Yeah. It was pretty much shocking because we were in a line with my friends. So they actually forced me to take the whole body checkup. It's something I don't do. Even when I was in high school and people could come to school, I used to say, me, if I'm sick, I would know. And I had the symptoms, but I didn't know. So the first measurement was like 18, and that guy was like, "Excuse me, madam, are you okay? Are you fine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay, just hungry." Another one. Then they referred me to a diabetologist. He was like, "Is anyone in your family diabetic?" And I was like, "No." What is diabetes even? No. And then he told me, "You need to see a doctor. You need to see a doctor." Going home, the same thing. Everyone was reacting the same. No, maybe those machines were just not working. Maybe those doctors don't even know what they're telling you. But for me, I was really in shock. Like, it really shook me. It threw me under the bus completely. It was a hard pill to swallow at that moment. But then I didn't take it serious again. Even after going to like 5 doctors, I still didn't take it serious. I still never started my medications. Yeah, they were. At first, there's a doctor. I went to a public hospital. I was put on tablets, but my sugars never went down. They kept going high and high and high. Then I kept losing more weight. The shock plus also diabetes. I kept losing weight. My eyesight at some point, I had to change my lenses. Sometimes my teeth could bleed, but I never associated any of that to diabetes. Now when I went to Nairobi hospital, then a lot of tests were done. Then that was when I was put on insulin. Then I went to the nutritionist, taught how to do my injections. So it's like, "Sawa, there's no an alternative. Do I really have to take injections?" Then I started crying. He told me, "No, you just have to be put on injections." I was put on injections. I was still not taking it serious. I did my injections when I wanted. Like, if I feel, today, let's not do it today. Tomorrow we will. And no one knew. Because I used to lock myself up in my room. Then I stay for like 5 minutes. Then I go out and eat. So people could be like, she's done her injections. I really did not get really serious. I didn't get serious repercussions, thanks God. But I did that for almost an year. Then after knowing DMRC, then I changed my doctor. Then I think sometimes also your doctor has a big impact on how you manage yourself, how you manage your diabetes. Then also getting a support system was also. Then I just decided, because someone told me, if you don't want to take your injections, then you die. Like, you just die. Then I was like, I'm not ready. I just have to be strong enough and be bold enough to take my injections and see how it goes. And yeah, after taking that big step, things started getting better. 2016, I was doing my diploma. Yeah, so yeah, it was just for like an year. 2016 to 2017, and I was commuting, so it was really tough. I really had to change my meal plan, because guys, in campus, the only meal you have for lunch is a soda and fries, soda and samosa, soda and what. So I started carrying pudding and sometimes porridge and my own tea from home. I stopped eating at the cafeteria. If it's lunch, if it's lunch and I'm in school, I eat githeri and greens. It was really weird because people are at the cafeteria ordering samosas, you're pulling out your thermos. At first it was funny, people used to question it a lot, but I had one friend who was like, if that's what is working for you, yeah, you do it. But people at the cafeteria are having milkshakes, you're having uji. You're having uji and nothing else. You don't want to eat a lot of carbs. I'm trying to still fit into this kind of diet that I've been told by the nutritionist. So yeah, that had to change a lot. I had to stop eating just anywhere a lot. I'm just walking from school and I feel like, say grab a kebab. I had to stop doing that. Now I had to complement it. If I feel like let me eat a kebab, I go buy an apple, go buy a banana, I just buy a fruit, something that could work. Because eating something that is not working for you, and at the back of your mind you're like, sawa, I'll have fun eating this kebab, but after that I'll go home, do my pricking, measure my sugars, and then they're just high and I'm now stressed. And it's something that I could have avoided, but it was hard even going out with your friends. Now when people start knowing that you're diabetic, when people are going out, they're like, are you sure you want to come? Are you sure nothing is going to happen to you? Are you sure? Are you sure? It just becomes so tiring. You're just like, I'm not going. Guys are going out and you can't drink water the whole day, so you just avoid it. You avoid it, and some people are like, just today, nothing will happen to you, and then tomorrow, your sugars are high, they're stressing you, or they have gone low, extremely low, and yeah, lifestyle changed a lot. From family, it was still a bit hard, because they had not sucked in the fact that I am diabetic. Everyone kept questioning. Like, instead of them doing something about it, they are questioning, and everyone is coming up with, from the nuclear family to the extended family, everyone wants to come up with a solution. Some people are like, she should drink ginger and garlic in the morning, she'll be fine. She should not be on injections, she's going to die. My dad was like, so if you've been put on insulin, maybe one day they will stop you on insulin. Just take it for now. My mom up to now, she's still struggling with accepting that I am diabetic. She's not taken it in. But yeah, for my siblings, it was also hard, because my younger sister doesn't understand why I'm taking injections. My brother is just like, he still doesn't understand what diabetes is. So the support was hard. Like, sometimes you had to force it. You had to force them to understand that you need strips. Why you need to eat some things. You cannot eat some things with them. Nasieti unaringa. Yeah, so at some point, visiting extended family has become hard. Because people will still want to force you. Just eat a chapo, and you cannot eat it. Instead of them to be like, if you cannot eat chapo, what can you eat? If you cannot have this, what is working for you? So yeah, it is kinda a hassle, bado, 4 years down the line. My friends, I think young people are more open-minded, because you won't find my friends allowing me to drink soda. Most of them, they won't. They'll just say, give her water, give her water. Even if you want that soda, no, give her water. They're like, we're going to eat somewhere. Have you carried your insulin with you? How are you feeling? We're going somewhere for a long time. Do you have glucose with you? What do you need? Like, what they want to know, what is working for you, what is not working for you. Yeah, my friends have been amazing. The one thing that keeps me going is, of course, myself. I'm a really strong person and I'm always there for myself. And also the amazing friends and yeah, support from also other people. Having their buddies keeps you going a long way, because sometimes you find people are going through worse than you are. So if you look at their situation and you're looking at your own situation, you're like, you know what, I can't give up. I just have to keep going. I just have to keep going each and every day. I had been sending them DMs on Facebook for a very long time before they, like the time I got a response, I was so happy. I went telling everyone, like, yo, DMRC have finally, because I never met any, I have never met a diabetic person, no diabetic friends, no nothing. So meeting, like, I was like, finally I am meeting a group of people who I can relate to, and I was so happy. Like, I was super excited about it. Even every time I keep talking to their buddies, I am really just happy. Yeah, it also keeps me going a lot, because if you meet someone who when you're telling them, hey, yesterday I had a low and I could not sleep, they're like, wow, even me. Go tell a person who's not diabetic that you could not sleep because you had a low. They're not even relating. They're just like, you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll just be fine. Like, that's what people keep telling you. Don't worry, just be fine. Some of the challenges are when you're somewhere and you feel like you want to eat, but you're just asking yourself, how am I going to get myself out of this situation? Because if you look around the environment, you don't feel like anyone is going to understand you. That's a challenge. Another challenge that we face as diabetics, doing injections. That is also a big one. Doing injections in some certain environments that you're in. Sometimes you keep debating with yourself, should I just eat? Should I excuse myself? Should I do what? You know, like, some people prefer, if food is on the table, it's on the table, no one is leaving. So you're like, should I do my injections here? Should I leave? Also, every day's challenges is on the diets, going to places, and you're finding the meals that are there, nothing is working for you. So you're like, should I eat? Or should I get a low because I am not eating? You're just debating with yourself, because a lot of people in events, when planning their meals, no one will have in mind that a diabetic person might come here and eat. No one, like, you go for conferences and breakfast, they're there, they've put biscuits, mandazis, and tea. And you're just like, now what do I do? What are these? What do I do? Maybe at that moment, you're not supposed to take your insulin at that moment. You already did. You already took your insulin. So you're just like, what do I do? Do I take the tea alone? I am really hungry. Yeah, those are the challenges. And also, it is also a challenge. It is a challenge when you can't keep telling. Sometimes we want to tell people that, yeah, I'm diabetic, I can't eat this, I can't. But sometimes it is hard for you to keep saying it. You feel like you want sympathy, you want attention. Like, that's how people see it. If you tell people you're diabetic, they'll be like, maybe she just wants attention from people. She wants us to pity her, because they don't really understand it. Yeah, I have things that scare me. Things like, if you're trying to explain to people, the hardest thing to explain to people is when you're on your emotional season at that point. It is just the hardest to explain to people that, you know what, I am diabetic, and at this moment, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to people. I just want to be on my own space. People will start feeling like, sasa, because she's diabetic, she wants to create a scene. Now she wants to cry. Because sometimes you do cry, you just cry for no apparent reason. You're just becoming emotional. So you can imagine if you have a boyfriend and you're on that state, he'll be like, what do you want? What do you want from me? You're crying. Why are you crying? You don't want to talk. Why don't you want to talk? Because because you're diabetic, you want to cry. okay, they're like, Sawa, don't blame it on diabetes, you have other issues. And people do not understand that you have seasons of being depressed. You're just depressed because imagine you're on 4 injections in a day, yani every day. Yani when you wake up every day, like, hey, I have 4 injections in a day. It is hard. Also, things like me, I don't like traveling because sometimes you find yourself urinating a lot. Yani will you keep stopping the bus driver? And they won't understand why. People will tell you, where's si mtoto? Me, you won't find me traveling a lot in as much as I would love to. I don't. I travel very short distances, very short, because one of the challenges I got when I was having symptoms of diabetes and I didn't know, I used to urinate a lot. So you find I am commuting from Tao to Kitengela. Siezi fika hiyo distance. I am stopping nashuka mat along the way. I have to take another mat again. By the time I'm in Kite, siezi fika home. I have to use a public restroom. Like, you spend a lot of money on it. So I just said, I cannot be traveling. There are people you can talk to and they will listen. But for me, when I am on that roller coaster, I always lock myself up. I take a pen and a book. Like, that's the easiest way for me to write down my emotions. So I write down everything I feel. Like, if I wanna cry, I will cry it out. Then I'll be okay. Sometimes I take a walk. Then by the time I come back, I am just okay. And dealing with depression, mental issues, mood swings, being a diabetic, for me, I work out a lot. So like in the morning, I'm waking up and I'm feeling, now the moods are checking in. I just go for my morning runs, come back, I work out. Then I feel like my day is going to be smooth. If it's dealing with people, because people will always get to you a lot. If it's dealing with people, sometimes I've just learned to let me be the bigger person and just step back, not let the other person get to me. Like, you just say what you want to say, then leave me here with my mood swings, feeling bad. Then I'm just like, Sawa, people are like that, it's going to be okay. Running and avoiding eating things that will spike my sugars, and checking my sugars a lot, but which I'm not still disciplined with the pricking. So what I do, I just avoid eating things that will affect my sugars and being faithful to my insulin. I have one diabetic friend who I talk to. I call, or I'm like, yo, call me. I'm not in an okay state of mind, and we'll just talk those things out. We talk it out, and I become better. First of all, they need to do a lot of awareness to deal with the stigmatization and to just educate people. To educate people what is diabetes, educate people what happens if you get diabetes. They also need to subsidize or if they can, give free insulin, because your pancreas is not working. You genuinely need the insulin. It's like people who wear glasses, you cannot see, so you need the glasses for you to see. They create a plan where medication, the strips, the insulin, seeing a nutritionist, they just make it free or make it a certain price that everyone, no matter what social status you come from, you're able to afford. Because there's someone who's living below the dollar, they cannot even afford the needles. So you can imagine, if someone cannot afford the needles, are they able to afford the insulin? Maybe they tell themselves for some time they need to go off the insulin. So they just need to work something out, get more doctors, get more nutritionists, reach out to people. Because you can imagine if you're in Nairobi and some people are not able to get access to the insulin. What about people who are living in the interior? It is killing them. honestly, it's killing them. And it's not killing them because they are not taking care of themselves. It's killing them because they are not able to afford the basic necessities of being a diabetic. You find taking just a blood sugar monitor in the morning, it is 200 shillings. This person cannot afford a needle. How are they supposed to afford going to the clinic to have a blood glucose checkup? So those are things they just need to do. Get more diabetic doctors who can reach out to them. And yeah, I think it will be a better world for type 1 diabetics. Young guys like myself, so many of them don't want to come out and say that they're diabetic. Even in the group, they will say, me, I will not tell people that I'm diabetic. I'll just keep quiet. It is okay to be type 1 diabetic. It is okay, because it is not something that you brought it upon yourself. It is not an STD that you went out and got it yourself. So don't be embarrassed for being a type 1 diabetic. Don't be embarrassed for having different meals at a party, or having to carry your own meals at a party and other people are eating junks. Also, I would really advise them to take good care of themselves, take their medications faithfully, go for therapy. Diabetes is something that is going to take your mental health on a very bad state if you don't take care of yourself. Go for therapy, talk about it, live a healthy lifestyle, because we all want to live for long. And don't let it hinder you to doing things that you love. I can't be a sports person because I'm diabetic. I think if you manage it, you're able to do it. You're like, I can't be a bike rider because I'm diabetic. I'm afraid of the blood. I'm afraid of hypos getting me. No, you can be whatever you want. Yeah, the society is going to criticize you, but you have to stay strong and just be after what you want, do what you want, because at the end of the day, life is too short. Especially being type 1 diabetic, you sleep not knowing if you're going to be there tomorrow. But yeah, be strong. Go out there, talk about diabetes, educate people about diabetes, type 1 diabetes. For me, I would really want to be an advocate for type 1 diabetes. For me, everywhere I go, sometimes you're seated somewhere and the conversations you hear people having about diabetes, you feel like beating people up. But then you're like, okay, you guys are not well educated. I'm going to tell you about it. You just sit down and I'm going to tell you about it. Another thing, I would really like people to stop stigmatizing diabetics. It's not their fault, it's not a curse, it's not all the stereotypes that people have. They have to stop stigmatizing diabetics. And for me, I would love for one day to see a world where type 1 diabetics everyone is able to access insulin, access a good diabetologist, access a nutritionist without having to pay for it, access the strips, for them to live in a world where people accept them, for them not to be stigmatized. You're diabetic, we can't give you this job. You're diabetic, you can't fit to be with people. I would just love the world to become a better place one day, for them to live without the fear of telling people that, hi, I am Mnaji, I am type 1 diabetic. And this is me, this is my story, and this is how I've lived, and that is just the world I would want for them to be in.